All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll go through the live order flow analysis using Bookmap. The goal is to understand the order flow. What are the traders telling us? So how do we understand order flow, or what is it? Well, very simply, the participants in the auction or in the markets, they can only participate with orders. That is the only way. So an order has to be placed, or a market buy has to be hit. Whatever the case may be, it is with orders. Therefore, we want to understand the condition of those orders, the context of those orders, and that is the edge using order. Right? So just is very elementary in that sense and very basic, but we'll get into some details. All right, so a few news items. This is the ongoing this month here, the Blue Jacket competition. If you guys are interested, so it's all online in X, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Take a screenshot, mark up your charts of Bookmap, and then send it to hashtag free blue jacket, and you can win over $600 in subscription value. It's very simple process. Onboarding schedule. So we have an onboarding meeting later. So anyone who is new to Bookmap and wants to get up and running, connected to data, have basic questions, we will get you onboarded here at Friday, 1 p.m. East Coast time. You can see Dan is on Mondays at 8, and then Wednesdays 4 p.m. Brandon. So no matter where you are around the globe, we have a time slot we hope you can make. The Bruce's pilot program. So this is an edge building program that we put together. We actually talked about quite a few of the items in the Bookmap Academy meeting last night. All right, so it's very simple here. Most traders, especially new traders, a lot of them are trading without an edge. And we all hear that, oh, you need an edge, you got to have an edge, you need to back test. And then that's it. It's like, oh, here's my setup. Go throw money at it. And that's what most retail traders do. This is what I've seen for years, and it's always bothered me. So we have a process here. We put it together. It is very simple and straightforward, but you have to be disciplined to follow the process and identify the elements on the chart. This is one of the best ways I've seen to build and define an edge for yourself. So you will have an edge, and if you follow the program in here. I'll put the link into the chat if you are interested. Okay. Our Bookmap Academy and journaling here, this is the same as the pilot program, as you guys know, how to build our playbook. This is essential. Okay, from the pilot program or the simple strategy or setup, or if you're just in the Bookmap Academy, you go through your setup and you journal it, and you build out an edge for yourself. So what do we look at here, and what do we journal? Well, impetus, what's moving the market? Okay, that's really important. It is the bigger picture. Then key levels. What are the key levels on the higher time frame? Identify them. Then we want to come up with strategies and scenarios around those key levels. Start to build it out. We think price might go this way or that way, or I'm bearish because of this news. So if we get a retest back to this key level, I am looking for shorting it, whatever the case may be. Right, so start to build out those scenarios. And then finally, number 4 is your setup. It should be mechanical. You should know it. There shouldn't be any question about your setup. You should know it extremely well. You know nuances of it. You'll be able to grade it. It's a checklist. And then you'll be able to determine how much risk you want to put on. Okay, really essential. Once you have determined all of that, then it's down to order flow and execution. That's the last bit here on the 4 key elements here. All right, so anyway, let's get into it. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, guys, so let's jump in. We're looking at the S&P E-mini. Let's see if there's any questions right off the bat here. Hold on a minute. And I don't think there are, so good morning, everybody. Yep, Kiloton, Alois, Laura, Shark, Trading's Life, Dan. All right, well, anyway, there's a few things. Wow, look at this already. God, this looks great. Look at this high liquidity getting filled all the way up, right above the figure. Well, 5 points more above the figure here at 68.05, and then look at the move right back down. Guys, I mean, this is a really really good example, I think, of high liquidity getting filled all the way up. Okay, you know, especially at the top, that's where we really want to see it. Is you know, we want to see it in here. Duzman, you know, you've been doing really great work, and it can depend. But usually this liquidity down in here getting filled on the way up is less important than up here. Okay, the reason why is we want to see it slow the market down. And you can see this is just charging from the cash open, just charges up into these areas here. And what's slowing it down? Well, it's going to be limit sell orders. That's going to absorb a lot of that energy that the aggressive buyers have to be able to lift price. And then we're looking for a few elements in here, very, very simple elements. Okay? This is from the pilot program. This is the setup, the trend line break and accumulation. And as we talked about yesterday in the academy, it's really about structure break, accumulation passively, key level, structure break, and aggressive accumulation. All right, and where are they going to take it? Well, that's where we start to target areas of high liquidity. Okay, and we look for it to trade down into those areas. Here we go. Let's see if these sellers right now hit this 67.90, and I would look for it. Because that's where the buyers are. Anyway, I want to go over the basic elements, not of this setup. So anyone here, yeah, it's a beauty, trading is life. And this, I mean, I think not Matt, but oh God, who is it in the hi Stephen, good morning. In the program. Oh God, he's a German guy. Anyway, he really identified some nice, very, very high liquidity getting filled. This is a nuance. This is another variation in here to check out. And the variation here is the open. This is really what's key here. And this is why we see a big move up and a big move down. Okay, we're getting these kind of wild swings in here. No, it's not Florian, Alois. It's not Matt. Matt's American. The other guy, it's not Michael. Let me just jump over there. Anyway, he's identified some really nice passive accumulation. Mark, it's Mark. Yes, thank you, Laura. He's gotten really good at it. It's a really important element to understand. So I don't want to talk so much, even though this is a pretty good setup in here. Okay, I don't want to talk so much about this particular setup. I want to talk about the elements of the setup. Okay, because once we start to understand the basic elements of order flow in here, we are going to be able to apply that to all sorts of different setups. So basically, the way that you're going to be using this in the program or on your own is understand these elements, and they're like Lego building blocks. Okay, one will kind of work. You kind of attach the other to it, and then now you've got a setup. All right, and something I had talked about yesterday I mentioned in the Bookmap Academy meeting that I think this is really important, is to understand some of these setups in here, or some of these elements in here, from your own observation. In your own observation, you'll start to develop a feel for what's going on. You'll start to see how things relate in context. Okay, do not listen to another guru about their setup and this is the setup, and you look for it, because this is the trap that we fall in. We fall into this trap of, oh well, they're really good, they're making tons of money, and this is how they do it with their setup. I'm going to study their setup, and therefore I should make money. Okay, that's a totally logical, deductive reasoning argument. It makes great sense. The problem is, you can do it, but you have to do it through your own lens, and it's like, you prove them right. Go over and prove them right. That, yeah, okay, it works. I understand it, not conceptually, not that you understand it conceptually, okay? Because that's the next step usually that we go through. We want to go way beyond that. First you want to understand it conceptually, but the real important part is to observe it, and then I really believe in this pilot program process. You're going to observe it, and then you are going to look at it in replay mode, and you want to look at many instances of it, and you start to draw conclusions from it, right? So this is where you're going to have your own setup at that point. He might have like kind of taught you about it, or he or she may have kind of taught you about it, or made you aware of it. But then from your own experiences, your own observation, you will make it your setup, and you're gonna then it comes down to the repetition. Okay, like going to the gym, you keep going back, you keep looking at that setup, and you keep on understanding it deeper and deeper, and you become an expert at it. Okay, so that's something I mentioned yesterday, but I wanted to go further with, about understanding through observation. Okay, not by understanding something and, oh well, so and so looks at this and I want to trade it that way. Okay, so break it down into pieces if you need, and then so for example, we'll start with this trend line break and accumulation setup. Okay, and for those of you who are new, let me show you where you can find that setup in here. Just go to bookmap.com and click on education, and then scroll down to supply and demand setups here. This is a little course we put together, and trendline break and accumulation is here. It's just 2.5 minutes. Okay, so just watch it and then come back and let's go through the observation part. Okay, the one, or the first element we want to understand is the passive accumulation, which means the liquidity. So let's go through this, and maybe we'll have to kind of go backwards, or maybe we'll start backwards and then move forwards. Yeah, I think that actually that might be good. So we'll move forward from here. And actually, I'm going to take the stops and icebergs off for the moment here. Okay. All right. Okay, so this here is a great example, because this is something that we covered yesterday about some of these, or this particular setup. In fact, here we're looking for a reaction, right? High liquidity. Okay, it blasted through it. Okay, in fact, you see an order book flip here. They were on the offer, now they're on the bid supporting it. Okay, where does price go? Boom, high liquidity. It blasts through it. And well, wait a minute, isn't this supposed to slow the accumulation? This passive accumulation is supposed to slow down the market. Well, it's not doing it, is it? Okay, well, it comes up higher, high liquidity here, boom, trades into it, through it. Okay, slows it down a little bit here. You can see like it didn't blast through it here, and kind of hovered around in here. One more hit. Okay, now we got something, right? Now, in hindsight, we know that, right? But this finally, look here. We know that it came through it a little bit here, but now we have a couple of different other elements in here that matter. The structure broke. Okay? Now, you could have been a diagonal structure in here that broke, or you can see a horizontal structure in here, and then we see that selling here. Okay, so now that broke. So now there's sellers coming in, right? And we look for taking it down to the swing, hit your single, and or get out and just build confidence. Okay, or you can look for something more. Now, what is important about the setup in here, and to understand the distinction through observation of this passive accumulation, is understanding that this it blasted through it here. Why? Because there's just so much more buying pressure. Okay, this is the open. It's a volatile time. Everything changes at 9:30. Right here, we can just lift the volume bars up a little bit here. Let's zoom out a bit. Okay, look at all the volume in here from 6:30 this morning. Look at 9:30. Okay, boom. Huge change, right? So that's what's going on. So don't get run over by this. Understand this, some of these big moves in here. So for example, we looked at some chart examples yesterday of people taking this setup but not at a key level, and that's the problem. Okay, so a reversal takes a while, especially when there's tons of momentum behind it. This reversal actually didn't take long at all, and the only reason is because there's tons of selling behind it here. Anyway, so we're finding buyers, we're finding sellers, and now we're looking for this. Where do we leave off here? I think I wanted to see this transact in here. Anyway. We've come back down to the open and traded down here, and we're still accepting above it though. All right, so anyway, let's get back into these building blocks and these elements. So through observation, don't get run over. Just start to observe and understand where that high liquidity is transacting, and then what's the context after. Okay, and are you at a key level? These are it's really important to be at the key level. And then now, we're going to take a look at a reversal, or maybe a continuation. Doesn't matter. But we're going to look for high liquidity to transact, and then we're looking for what happens next. Okay, so what we're going to cover as the building block in here is passive liquidity and the transactions of it. Okay, so right now, if we can see here, we traded into high liquidity here. Is it really a key level? It's not a bad level on a smaller time frame. Okay, but this is a much better level, and in fact, even below all of the price action down here is even a better level. This liquidity down here at 80. Okay, this is different than this liquidity here. All right, that's what we want to understand. This liquidity here is also better than this up here, okay? Because this is where all of that buying began. this is where we will probably find buyers supported again. And indeed they are. Okay, so now that did transact down here, and we see aggressors come in. Where do they go? Number one, high liquidity here. Okay, number two, the target is here. Okay, 6,800. And now we're going to probably see the swing as well. You can see some liquidity in front of that swing here as well right now. Okay, but the better level is up here at 6,800. Okay, that's where the higher liquidity is. Okay, now we see buyers moving the market. Where are they going to move the market? They're going to move the market to areas of higher liquidity, okay? Because the most of the buyers here will meet the most of the sellers up in here. And that's what we look for. Okay, and that's what we're observing right now. Through the observation, we can start to come up with potential setups and scenarios. Okay, so some high liquidity starting to transact in here. Okay, I imagine we'll get a little bit of a pullback here. Okay, high liquidity on the bid here, it transacted, now they're on the offer. I'm sorry, on the offer here, it transacted, now they're on the bid. Okay, so let's see if we got a little bit of a pullback right there after transacting here. And that's it though, not much, right? So now let's see if we get more aggressive buyers here and lift up into our 6,800 level here. All right, any questions? I know that was a lot, but let's take a look at this in here. So are we, when we come up to, we're looking for it to test this level up here, right? There's a swing here, there's also a swing here, and the high liquidity is at 6,800, and we know that there's some buyers in here, so we're looking for the buyers to trade up to that level. All right, and then what? Well, we'll see, right? Are you bearish up here at this level, or are you looking for it to go to the next level back to 05 here, which would be the high up here? Okay, so have an opinion on this. Have some insights in here on some of this, and then how are you going to handle that as a scenario so you can build out the right edge. This is the scenario building that I was talking about. Okay, so for example, here's a nice little pullback. Okay, so now I'm looking for hand over fist. Basically, I would look for this scenario here of big buyers starting to come back in and trade right up into 6,800. Okay, that's number one scenario that I'm looking for. Okay, we traded into a little bit of liquidity here. There's a little bit better here at this kind of 92 3/4. Let's see if we trade to that, and then we're going to look for some buyers start to come in. Okay, so there's our move into there. Okay, now let's see, do we get the buyers that we are looking for? Nope. Okay, it goes a little bit lower here. I would definitely look for a pullback at this point, and the higher liquidity is actually now here at 95 and a half. I would look for the buyers to lift it up into that area here. Okay, and then we're just going to observe this. Right? We don't know, but we're understanding at least that the higher liquidity is up here at 6,800. Okay, these levels in here, we're looking for a pullback. We were looking for a pullback into here, and I thought it would immediately come up here. It hasn't. It's pulled back a lot deeper. Now we traded into some high liquidity in here. It's not the highest, and it's not really a key level, but we traded into it, and we're looking for now buyers to come out of it, and then to come up to 6,800. Okay, now we just had this guy come in. It's a larger player, as you can see with the little white line there, our large lot tracker, providing liquidity at 95. Okay? Now, so this changed now. This environment just changed. Okay, so the liquidity is now here at 95. Okay, this is an order book skew that just came in like this, but there's buyers here that are interested. Okay, we see the reaction here. So now let's see the buyers transact up into this 95 liquidity here. Okay, there's our transactions. Now I'm really curious to see if this is totally absorbed or not. Yep. Okay, so it fully transacted there, and I would look for a pullback after that. That's a lot of liquidity that just transacted. It's deep red in here, right? And doesn't mean that we won't trade higher. It just means that this liquidity transacted, and after that transaction, we look for either price to slow down or pull back again. All right, so let's see what else we can observe in here. That's live market. So we covered this move and how to understand these really strong impulse moves and that relationship with liquidity. Any questions on that? Kuzman, what time frame do I recognize or recommend using with Bookmap? The I don't really recommend a time frame. Okay, it really kind of depends on what you want to trade or how much you want to risk. But based on based on your setup and your edge, basically, it really comes down to that. Okay, so for example, if you are looking at today's action in here, well, maybe you want to be a buyer down here, right? At the where, I mean, this is kind of a gift here. It pulled all the way back here. And then now, are you getting buyers in here? Yeah, you're starting to, right? So it needs to get back up above here, though. And you can see that this guy at 95 in here is kind of holding that market down right now. Now, this is where the order flow gives you that edge I'm talking about in here. Okay, let's clear the drawings here. This is an edge right here, understanding this context right here. Now, that's dynamic, and it happened within, you know, just at 10:30, so just a few minutes ago, right? And otherwise, we had old information. We're looking for it to come up to, 6,800. Okay, well, this guy absorbed that buying pressure here. Okay, and we're getting a pullback. Now, we might get more buying pressure, though. Okay, we'll see. Okay, look at all the liquidity that came in down here now. Okay, this is new information here as well at 10:32. Okay, a lot of buyers down here. Okay, so where are we right now? Well, we're between the massive buying down here we see and the selling up here, selling liquidity, and we're right in the middle right now. Okay, it's a balanced book right now, basically. You want to look at the ultra bonds? Yeah, let's see. All right, we'll wait and give that a minute to load. Yeah, I'm gonna put a little more data in here for bonds. Yeah, I'll use volume profile to make trades min, but I like volume profile and market profile quite a bit. Okay, we've got a couple different columns that show that in here. So we have a chart range volume profile and a session range volume profile. All right, guys. I mean, same idea in here about ultra bonds in here. Hold on. Yeah, Robbie. So again, you know, high liquidity in here, and you can see trades to it and bounces off of it. Okay, this is where these buyers came in. This is where there's more support in the order book, and it went higher. Okay, we're seeing the same thing again here now too. Okay, so from these, they're starting to pull it a little bit here. But yeah, the liquidity is here at this 1562.5, and then up here at 31.25. Okay, not really seeing much here. Now look at that skew in the book now. Look at that. Okay, so then if that's the case, and if buyers are not interested in here, if we find sellers instead, I would look for the sellers to trade down to the next level of liquidity, and I don't see a whole lot. So I would look at the swing here, a few ticks lower, but boy, you know, it's way down here where we see some liquidity. Yeah, that'll change. Someone will come in. So they're starting to come in right here. Anyway, let's jump back. A short definition, Juan, of how CVD works? Yeah, sure. You know, there's a good resource for it in the Learning Center. Okay, if you go back to bookmap.com and you click on education, you go to the Learning Center, and then features and components, or features here, and then the subchart here, and then CVD here. We've got this will go through it here. They're just a few minutes long, as you can see. Okay, there's two. I'm going to put that link in for you. But it's really, really simple indicator. All it shows is, here, I put the link in there for you. Here, I've got it in the subchart here. Okay, a market buy is a positive number. The chart goes up. A market sell is a negative number. Now it's just taking these and combining them, adding them together. That's it. Okay, and it plots it. So now this calculation is so simple and plotted. But where this can be really helpful is right here, for example. Okay, absorption. Okay, so here we can. I'm going to go into the smaller time frame in here and show you how it works. So here we have high liquidity. Well, we have market sellers here, right? So CVD just picks up market sell and you know, subtracts it from the buys, and so CVD drops here. Okay, what did price do though? Not much, right? I mean, you see a little bit more selling in here, so it dropped a little bit more here. But the reason that this didn't drop price is because there's someone on the other side taking the trade. Okay, so what do you have there? You have price being kind of stagnant here, but CVD dropping. Okay, so this calculation does not take into effect anything about the price action. So that's the divergence. There's different divergences or different things, or even confirming that, wow, there's, you know, there's a momentum move in here. CVD is going up, and so is price action. Okay, so these are things that you can derive from understanding this very, very simple indicator with the price action. Okay, so we know that there's a lot of volume in here, and price is moving. We know CVD is moving too. Okay, so then what do you do then? How do you play it then? Well, I would play it up to areas of high liquidity. Thanks, Stephen. Yeah, consider joining the Discord community over here, as Stephen Demo Trader is saying. And thank you, Stephen. Yeah, hit that like button. Thank you very much, Stephen. I always forget. I'm not very good at all that stuff. Anyway, if you like this kind of education, please. Okay, all right. Look at this layered liquidity in here. Now, this is a lot of buying on the bid in here. And what can we derive from this liquidity in here? Okay, there's a few things. Number one is it's likely a larger player at one level and maybe another level here. Who knows? It could be the same player. Could be a few different players. But look where that liquidity came in. Okay. We also have our large lot tracker that can tell us a lot here as well. Okay. You can see the this one little white line in here is showing us that all of these orders are basically the same size, and we also know that they kind of came in at the same time. So I would derive from that this is very highly likely it's one player. Anyway, the question is, how is this affecting price? Okay, well, you know, this is pretty massive liquidity in here overall. It's skewing the auction, the order book. There's a lot of demand down here. Okay, now where is it? Where is that demand? It's at the bottom of this level in here. Okay, this being up above the level is bullish, right? They want to be a buyer in front of that level. This level down here at 85. Okay, so that's bullish. But now I see them adding a little bit more, you know, some seconds later or minutes later, and then they're adding even more lower here. Okay, so they're not chasing it here. They want to be a buyer, but now they're starting to. This liquidity is starting to tell us they're looking for maybe a better price below the level. Okay, that's what we can kind of derive from the behavior in the order book here. What does the trade counter show us? Yeah, let me show you that. This some good questions on the columns. Okay, so go to the trades counter here. This is showing transactions that or let's see, how do I put this? Okay, so we derived and came up with these different column types in here due to the changing environment due to high frequency years ago. Okay, that's where Bookmap was born, basically. So a trades counter, Well, first off, let's just go through it. A volume counter here, or the volume column. There, we have two different ones: session accumulated and chart range accumulated. So sessions from when I open it, chart range is only what's viewable in my range in here. I will get the column for. So for example, if I zoom in here, you can see I'm getting it for chart range here for only this data that's in my visible column or visible chart. All right, so now let's go back here and right click in the column, and you see the different types here. Okay, so a trades counter or volume is showing all volume, right? Okay, if one transaction took place, but it was for 100 lots, it's going to show a volume of 100. Okay, that's pretty simple, straightforward. Trades counter is going to show a volume of 1, though. Okay, that's the distinction. So it was 100 lots that transacted, but it was only one transaction, right? And that's what it's going to show in here. It's just one. It's going to put in that one and add it into the column. That's it. All right. We also have a quotes counter. Okay, quotes counter is going to be flashing quotes in here. The amount of liquidity that is changing in the order book in here. It's not the delta. It's just the quotes adding up. So if you see someone add some liquidity up in here, there's 80 up here right now. You can see 31, 32, 33. Someone is adding liquidity up there right now. Okay, and pulling maybe, but it's just adding it all together here. Okay, now why are we showing these kinds of columns? Well, because in the high frequency environment, it's not necessarily the amount of transactions, it's the amount, or the amount of volume is the amount of transactions, because a lot of these orders are broken down into one lots. Okay, so we want to understand the actual interest of trading, not the volume trading. All right, if that makes sense. It's the same with the quotes counter, is to be able to show the interest in trading in certain levels. And again, you can go to the Learning Center here, and then in this futures, I'm sorry, in this features course here, click on that. Go to the columns here, and then we explain it all in here. Here's volume delta, trades counter, quotes delta, etc. Okay, very short videos. All right, guys. So now, remember what we talked about in here? We were kind of in the middle of the order book there, and now we're back up here. Okay, and all these transactions up in here. Okay, we were looking for a pullback initially, and then it turned into a much deeper pullback. Now we're getting our buyers coming back in, and they're just starting to transact up into this liquidity here. Now we're back up at this swing from the price action up here. Okay, sorry. Okay, here. All right, so now is there liquidity up there? Yeah, there is, and it just transacted some of it right here. Okay, I would look for a little bit of a pullback here. Okay, but the majority of the liquidity is still up here at 6,800. All right, so you can see on a lower time frame in here, some liquidity coming in here. Okay, we bounced off of it, we hit it. Now we're coming back up, we're finding buyers. So I'm looking for buyers first to trade into 98 here. Okay, and then if there's enough, they might sweep enough buyers in here, they'll sweep the order book up into 6,800. Okay, now look at the bid in here too. Okay, now this would be more like understanding this context in here of this liquidity. Okay, what kind of effect did it have on the price? Okay, well, we found it kind of skewed it. We found some buyers. Okay, now we traded up into some liquidity up in here, and we're getting a bit of a pullback now. Okay, so its price is kind of struggling to make it back up above this 97.25. Okay, which is the swing right now. So what's going on up here? Well, a lot of traders, there's some liquidity here, right? And there's a price swing up here. So, you know, there's people fading it back into the range in here. And for them, this is a deal up here. That's the way they're looking at it. And they're willing to provide some liquidity and looking to trade it right back down. And now let's see if we rotate back up though and find more buyers. Okay, so I would look for them right now here to lift the offer up into this 98 liquidity. It's the majority of liquidity on this time frame. Okay, someone just came in here at 92.25 with pretty high liquidity. Okay, it's kind of a bit of a bid here, a little bit of interest on the bid, repelling price, finding buyers. Let's see the buyers should be able to move it up into this 98. Well, we're still struggling here. Still struggling. We're up here. You can see we exhausted out. And let's see a transaction up here. Still didn't get a transaction up here at this 96.25. Come on, guys. Just a little bit there. Still nothing. See, no one wants a deal there. See it now. Another rotation. Nope. All right, so we got to go lower to, you know, if we're going to get back up into 6,800, we're not finding buyers. We got to find buyers. Okay, well, maybe we have to come down to 92.25. All right, let me see if there's any questions, any more questions here. Let's see, Trading's Life, would I say the buyers are at 95 to push it to 6,800? Which guy's at 95? That was a while ago. Geez, oh, I'm sorry. So 1036. So somewhere in here. Yeah, Duzman, I would recommend, no, glad you made it in today. Watching some of the beginning of this webinar, kind of went over some of the, reviewed some of the things from the Academy meeting last night or afternoon. Yeah, it's funny. You can see a little bit of a bid here pushing, right? We never traded down to this liquidity though. Okay, we just went down to the price action. You'll note how these markets are a little different between like the NASDAQ, for example. Because, now more than ever, I'm looking for this 97, 98 to transact. Okay, we can see that there's, the aggressive buyers here. This is where we were struggling, though, earlier at 97. Okay, so now I'm thinking I'm going to be looking for some on the bid in here to support this at this higher level, more aggressors in here, and then the move into 98. You can see that that didn't happen here either. Instead of getting that kind of support on the bid in here, we're seeing it on the offer front running 98. Okay, so price is kind of rotated away. Okay, so now let's take a look at this in here. All right, this is something we saw yesterday, for example, in the academy. They're on the bid here now. Now they're on the bid, right? We got a pullback here, and this has been the pullback so far. And I'm seeing more buyers than sellers here so far. Now that we retested all the way back down here and found some sellers. I was thinking this is going to turn into a beautiful little cup and handle right in here. So that would be a minor pullback, more buyers, 98, right? But sellers came back in and we're right in the middle here, right back in the middle between high liquidity at 98 and then down here at 92 and a quarter. Okay, but this is we'll see a shift in here. Well, there we go. There it is. Let's see if we get a little more of a push here on the bid underneath here, and we might have to whoa, nope. Okay, I don't know what that is. Sounds like some news. I don't know what you guys see on it's definitely some news. Wow. Okay, where are we going here? That's really bad news. All right, that was about almost a 50-point drop. Guys, there's nothing we can do about that except unless we are waiting for expecting some sort of news. This has got to be geopolitical. From the economic calendar, we don't have anything that's due at this time. Stephen, we actually do have Dan put together this for us here. If we go over to Discord, okay, up here at the top of the channel here, newsfeed, this is a new area in here, and we can check it out, right? This is Financial Juice. Now, it takes a little while for Financial Juice to update here in our Discord. Okay, so if someone has like a news feed up, they're gonna get it quicker. Looks like it might. Is it tariff? And that was an hour ago. Hmm. Yeah, it's delayed, so I don't know. So we all don't know yet here. But I mean that's something really big. I mean, it whipped right through all of this in here. And you can see like this larger player, obviously an algo, and you know it pulls the majority of that liquidity in here. Some of it transacted in here, but a lot pulled, and then some transacted again down here. It looks like not much though, not much. Okay, so uh, let's see what we see here. Wow, look at this algo iceberg in here too. Okay, great. All right, we've got some volatility. All right, so sellers coming in again, hitting high liquidity down here at 67.25. Let's see if we get more, and then we look for the move down into 17, 15, and 12 liquidity. Okay, we can start to look for, well, this will be fun. Let's take a look at this in here. All right, so we got some structure here. We get a structure break, and we get tons of volume in here. And now I'm kind of flying blind on my higher time frame levels. Boy, that's a big move. Look at that. Wow. Okay. I'm not really seeing much on these higher time frame levels. I mean, there's a little bit of covering here. You can see, makes sense. I would look for a little bit lower here though. That 67.05 ish looks better. That's like a 100-point move, right? All right, let's try to mark this up in here. God, I can't stand dealing with these charts. All right, well, anyway, that's where we are. And let's take a look here. All right, so we did get the squeeze here, guys. I'd look for this. This is a tough one, actually, Duzman. This is a good one for you. Looking at the price action and the liquidity. Okay, now the strong move is to the downside, clearly. Right now, we did get the squeeze here, a little bit of a squeeze, right, to the upside here, and a reaction, and we are at somewhat of a level. I don't like it. I like the 05 level a lot better, and you can see that we're starting to come down to it. Okay, so what I'm trying to get at here is this is kind of a nuance in here with the structural break in here and the squeeze. It only came up to, it didn't even break the structure up above here. So this being your target up in here, this is something I have found in it is to stay away from the target because the move is to the downside. We're looking for a pullback. In fact, a pullback to maybe where it broke from in here in structure, or maybe back up just below the top of the structure. Okay, now I would go for the just below the top of the structure in here because this is some pretty heavy buying here. Okay, so I would be looking for that, and then I would get out. Okay, because this is too much. This is still bearish here. Okay, this structure is still bearish. Okay, here we go. All right, finally, we got an update on the news here. Trump calculating increased tariffs on Chinese products. Truth Social. Wow, Truth Social is that's the thing to follow. Well, market doesn't like that. Clearly. Okay, that's no new news actually. We know the market doesn't like. Oh, thank you, Alois. Now we're getting it. Yep. Okay. All right. So now let's take a look at this in here. All right. So we just traded into high liquidity up here, uh, and I would look for a fade after that. And now it may come up here, but I would look for a fade. I would look for it to trade down to this 25 liquidity or the swing here and retest it. Maybe even down. Maybe we'll get the move and kick it off down to the liquidity at this kind of 20 level, 17 level. Down to is just layers down below. Okay, down to 6,700 the figure, right? So does this make sense, Duzman? Where I'm coming from on this? We're still in a downtrend. We popped up above, we traded into high liquidity, and then you're starting to see the selling come back in again. Okay, so now we're targeting high liquidity down here in these areas, right? It's kind of the same. In the bigger picture, it's not the same setup. Okay, but if we look at a smaller version of it in here, it's the same setup. Okay, so I mean, yeah, you can go with that one, but this is a very aggressive trend line, but this is what we've got here. We know we're in a downtrend. We talked about the price action here, and then we talked about the liquidity just above it. So we peaked up above it, and then we saw sellers coming in. So we're looking for those sellers now to fade it back into the mean or the other side of the range here. Okay, now what do? We just traded the high liquidity here. That's hitting your single, hitting your target, and taking some off or getting out. Okay? In this case, well, if you're new to the program or the setup, take it off. Okay, especially this is too volatile right now. If you're more experienced with it, you would take some off. You would hold for the next levels. Okay, move your stop down. Okay, I'd move it down to about here, 35, above this little liquidity here. And look, we have some volatility, so some back and forth in here. Okay, sellers coming in again. All right, sellers, hit it. Here we go. Hit 19 or 20 here, then 17, yeah, I think it's ready. I think we're ready to go here. If we zoom out again, look at this up here. See this move back up here? Do we see buyers up here? No. Right there, here's our exhaustion. Sellers roll back in again. We're looking for trading into high liquidity on the bid here, and then it might even drop through. Okay. Is this making sense, guys? Like, trying to yeah, well, aesthetics, this we don't know what's going to happen up here. We were covering all sorts of other things up here, and everything is disrupted here completely, right? That's news. That's the environment we are in. and then what we can do though is we can play it after, as long as no new news comes back in. Okay, so now you hit your single here at 25. You could have held for a bigger move here, or you could have also taken some off here or just exit the position at 20. If you didn't, you would have been stopped out for the remainder. Okay, and likely somewhere around break even, I imagine. If you're really aggressive, you would have gotten in up here, but anyway. Now, again, you know, I started off this webinar, you know, talking to you guys about setups and not listening. And take my advice on this one too. Like, don't listen to me. Take the example of what I'm covering and go study it. Okay, prove me wrong or prove me right. Okay, that's really what it boils down to. But what's going to happen in the process of doing that is you're going to become really good at the setup. You're going to understand not just it conceptually, you're going to understand it through experience, and that's the big difference. Then you're going to, you know, answer a question for yourself. Do you like the setup? You know, does it kind of match the way that you like to trade? Then you've got something. Okay, so anyway, that's what you know, we're covering in here. Again, look at this move up into high liquidity again up in here, and then a fade back into the range. I'd look for this 25 liquidity again here to transact. That's where I think sellers are going to take it. There's some coming in at 30 here, but they're down here at 25. Okay, there's some here at 40 as well. All right, well, it looks like 40 is going to trade. There we go. All right, so now let's see if we get another fade in here after that. No, we're finding buyers. Okay, well, that one didn't work out. Now let's see if we come back up into some of these higher areas in here. We got the figure here at 750, but not much liquidity there. It's here at 48 and up here at 53 and 55. And that is a previous swing here. So Duzman here, we have a previous swing. Now this is a lower time frame though, okay? We have a previous swing up here, and we have high liquidity now up in here. So it's, for this smaller time frame, it's an important level, but it's in the bigger picture, it's not that important. Okay, now let's start to understand. There's liquidity up here. Did it transact? No, not yet. Okay, so we don't have that passive accumulation yet. Look at that. All of that volume up in here from the day, all left behind. I don't know, guys. I don't know about you, but like, for me, I would like to read into the details of what Trump is proposing, or what he wants to do with some of these tariffs. And then, there's a bigger question here. Are we going to try to, is the market digest it and not think it's that bad, and so we can come back into all of this area in here where we didn't transact very much, and start to fill this area in, or is it pretty bad and we'll come back to this area another time, another day? Okay, so either scenario in here. Steven, imagine being without a stop. Even with a stop though, guys, it's just brutal. You would have been slipped. You've been slipped a lot. How, where, I don't know. I mean, you probably would have been, you could have been slipped like 10 points or at least 5. And it's a part of trading. It's an ugly part of trading. All right, let's see here. I still, okay, we traded into some liquidity there. Just there's not much passive accumulation in here. Okay, but if we find sellers in here, this is where I think they want to go. Here is 26 and 25. All right, sellers, let's see what you got right here. The kind of bottom edge in here. All right, so they're hitting it. I'm looking for 25, and I think we can. We'll see what happens after 25, but I think looks like the market is telling us here it wants to go lower. So I would look for a pullback here at 25, but I'm looking for continuation. Okay, so again, our scenarios here of well, earlier we said on this 19, this 17, and then this kind of 11, 10 down here. It looks like we're ready to go. Flip of the order book on the bid at this 25. Now it's on the offer. Well, now they even pulled and added lower here. Okay, so we just traded into 20. That's our next level here. Now 17 or 16. There we go. All right, now the next one after that is down here, 12 to 10. All right, guys. So yeah, market's moving. I'm going to take a moment here I'm still looking for, I mean, we're going to get little pullbacks in here, and we're going to look for that, that aggressive or that passive accumulation in here. Right now, let's go over it. Like Duzman, are we really looking for the trend line break and accumulation trade? We'll get some pieces of it, yes. Okay, so here's our structural break right now, right? So where might it go? Well, how about here at 30? Kind of where it broke from up here. Now, I don't like it. I wouldn't take it. There's too much momentum to the downside. The market's moving to the downside. I would bypass this one. I would not look for it. Okay. It's starting to pan out, but I would not look for it. The momentum is to the downside. This is, this is where you have to make a distinction in the setup, when to take it, when not to take it. The market is moving down right now. Okay, we want to look for key levels now, really big, higher time frame key levels, and not buy, this falling knife here. And the falling knife it looks like it wants to go down to like 67.05, or there's many swings down here at 93, right? So let's look on the daily over here. Okay, so we could trade back down into, what did we say, 67.05 is up here. Here's our 93, and here's the day of Wednesday, October 1st. Here's the swing down here, 78.25. Okay, now is there, on the daily chart, is there enough in the gas tank here to bring us down there? Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is a pretty big move for the day. It's kind of getting there. So maybe this kind of 93 or 94 level that we talked about is, that looks more plausible. Down a little bit lower here is maybe, it's in the works, or it's possible, but that's a pretty big move. It's going to be pretty choppy by the time it gets down there, I imagine. Okay. All right, guys. Hope this is making sense about the you're not looking for this to pan out here. Okay, we're moving here. We're looking for a price discovery to the downside. Okay, we're looking for our we set our 05 and our figure here. We're just about there. Let's see, low. I'm sorry, I didn't see your question earlier. You tried to type in YouTube, but it's slow mode. Can you answer some questions? Yeah, sure, whatever. Please explain key levels. What can they be? Okay, so this is a great question. What do we mean by key levels? Well, it depends on the time frame, and it depends on the price action. Right. So, for example, what are the key levels for this right now? We just went over them. We're looking for much higher time frame key levels. Okay. Because there's volatility, price is moving, so we're going to be looking at other levels, or we can look for low volume pullback, for example, and continuation moves. Okay, so this is pretty strong impulse move right in here, high volume. Okay, what about this volume in here? Okay, after some of the absorption on the way down, we were looking for a pullback. Okay, we got a pullback. Look at the buy volume in here, right up in here. There's your low volume pullback. Okay, this is the next setup we'll be looking for. Okay, and then we're looking for continuation. Take some off at 10 and look for the continuation move. You can look for a measured move. Okay. Again, guys, I almost kind of cringe to cover these things so quickly, because what we want to do is understand them conceptually, and then go find out for yourself. Okay, and that's what we go through in the process, though, for that pilot program. So you guys will build experience for yourselves there. All right, let me go over to YouTube. Sorry, guys, been answering questions over in Discord. Okay, Paper Trader Pro. I hope this we've been covering it about looking for direction um, and this directional move here, okay, for example, to the downside. Okay, the continuation move. Caveman green as Kermit the Frog. Excellent. Way to go. All right, guys. So now we're down at 91 here. Well, let's take a look at our candle here. Okay, so this was our 94, 90. I said 94, 93, 94 here, somewhere around in there, right? And the next swing is here around 79, something like that. Okay, so where's our 94, 93, 94 in here. So it's right in here. All right, well, we're below it already. Okay, here we go though. All right, so now what do we have into our 93, 94 level? Okay, now low, how key of a level is this? It's not, it's okay. And do we have a lot of passive accumulation? Oh yeah. Yeah. So now we're looking for a structure break. And there's two ways to draw up our structure. Okay, this one and diagonally. And we're getting it. Okay, so what are we looking for then? On this setup, I'm just looking for up to 6,700, maybe a little bit higher because it's more of a key level. Okay, so that would be a quick scalp up into the 6,700 and maybe a little bit higher though. I just don't see too much here on the offer. Maybe this swing here makes sense, or this swing up here. Okay, now let's see if we get the liquidity. Okay, there's liquidity there. I would be out. I would take that, to be honest. Okay, now a lot of you guys in the pilot program are doing heck of a great job trailing your stops and letting this run. Okay, I like just taking my profits and getting out, building that confidence, hitting a double in this case. Okay, the single was here, the double is up here. That's it. I am done with this setup in here. Okay, I'm still looking for this to go lower. All right. Is this helping? Let's see. Pilot program coaches and Low Dewsman, questions do you guys have about this? Maybe aesthetics. Okay, nuances, distinctions, why we're looking for this, but only hitting a single, or maybe a little bit more out of it. That's it. We're looking for this to roll back over and continue on lower, and that's exactly what it's doing. Okay, let's take a look at this now. How is this? Is this a low volume pullback in here? It's a little tricky to say. This is, look at the volume bars, look at the volume dot here. Okay, we saw that. Okay, but there's not a whole lot of volume up here, so it is kind of low volume up to here. Right? Does that make sense? So in that case, again, we can start to look at some structure to be broken here. There's some diagonals, but let's put some horizontal structure in here. Boy, it's kind of tough. It's really this line up here at 06. Maybe here at 6,700 the figure. So where would you be getting in? Well, if you got in up here, you'd be taking it down to probably the swing here, and then or you can get in here when you see the sellers coming in hand over fist below this structural area here, right? So there's a couple of different entries. Obviously, this is much further down. but that's what I'd be looking for. Okay, so now we're down to the swing into the high liquidity at 80, 78. Okay. And let's go back here quickly. All right, so we're at our level here, 79, 80, somewhere around in there, right? Okay, we're there. Okay, great. All right, let's look for absorption and let's look for a reaction in here. We have to work this. We have to work really quickly here. We have to look at the and this is like the NQ or worse. Okay, so now we're looking for a reaction down here, right at 80, kind of higher time frame level. Okay, something like that, right? And let's just put a line here at 80. And we're below it. We're below it. Okay, great. Okay, I am looking for a reaction down here somewhere. Okay, and I'm going to be watching really closely here. Okay, so now here's our both structures being broken here. Okay, looking for a bit of a pullback here. There we go. All right, now if we get buyers back up here again at 81, I'm looking for this to streak higher. Okay, where would I take a single? Well, maybe back up here around 94 or so, the swing. Okay, so there's a first level of liquidity already hit here. Let's see if we can get back up above it. No. Okay. Boy, I wanted to say take profit here. And that really would be hitting the single. It's just really close here. That's all. Okay, all right. We're still seeing weakness in here. I'm still looking for a reaction though. We're at a key level. Okay, so I'm going to really be watching this. If you want to get really aggressive, I should probably not show that, but you know, we just traded into high liquidity, passive. Again, passive liquidity. Are we getting filled at our key levels? Yes, yes, yes. There's still more down here at 50. Okay, so now we're going to get a reaction here probably. Buyers above this level here. All right, there they go. We're getting a retest. Buyers again. All right, buyers, let's see. 83 would be a target here. We got to break the bigger, now the bigger trend lines coming into play here. Okay, so maybe that would be our first target here. This liquidity here. It's not much, 75. Because we know there's going to be sellers off of this structural level here. We know that. We're playing the smaller one to the bigger one and then getting out basically. Okay, so yeah, didn't quite make it, but we'll be looking at this trend line now. Okay, passive liquidity filled again here, and the order book is shifting a little bit here, but I want to see this trade. Look at the bid, guys. Look at the bid. Okay, so structural level to break is 70 on accumulated volume by the buyers. Okay, it looks good. The bid looks strong here. Looking for a retest, buyers, and let's see it stream up now, 83. Okay, I think we got it now. Okay, that would be the next swing up here, 83. Okay, now this is a higher time frame. I would take some off here at 83, but I'm looking for a bigger reaction here. Look at this. This is just a huge candle, right? So maybe the move would be back up to about 93. Some of the swings up here, right? Makes sense. Around 93 here. Let's take a look. 93 is up here, right? So that would be it here. Okay. The bid support at where we were looking for that trend or that structural break here, and you see there's some liquidity there. The sellers didn't take it on. We tested down to it, but no sellers. So we're still looking for buyers up here. Okay, there they are. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, buyers and then sellers, don't like that. I want to see buyers again here at 80. It's a weird place here. I'm still looking for the swing here at 83. Okay, we got a low volume node here, but we're looking to break through that at what is it, around 85-ish. Okay, it looks like first target hit. Yeah. All right, so 83 hit. All right, so we would have taken profit at 83, partial profit. Okay, you'd still be in it though. You were in at 70. We were in right around 70-ish, right? Something like that. Okay, a lot of selling just came in, but we're still holding structure. And now we're out. Well, maybe you're just below 70 here. You'd still be in, but yeah, hide it behind that high liquidity here. You'd be out now. All right. I'm still looking at this one, and we are at a higher time frame level. I'm looking for a reaction, and I'm looking for more buyers, more covering than just this. Okay, so just squeezes, covering, profit taking, bottom feeders, buying. So let's go through a couple different scenarios in here. Number one is the, and then we got to go. We're over our time limit here. Number one is the swing back up to what we said our 94. It could come back up into higher levels here, maybe 67.10, somewhere like that is possible. Now, another scenario here that we see all the time on moves like this is, well, we can continue on lower. I'm not looking for much lower though. I mean, maybe the figure down here at 50. Okay, I'm not looking for much lower, right? But then we can just bounce around in between. Like if we come down to 50, we could bounce around between this kind of 85 and 50 level all the rest of the day, and the move is over. Okay, so that's another possible scenario, and that we see a big profile like this up here that we left at 6,800 will be down here at 50 to 80, you know, somewhere around in there. Okay, guys. All right. Interesting session. Didn't anticipate a tweet like that, but we should probably be aware that we know that scenario is always possible. All right, so let's wrap it up. We went through a bunch of different things, trying to break things down into their building blocks of order flow and understanding that relationship and keeping it simple, and then, you know, putting the context together. So like any reversal that takes place in here, you know, we're looking for first passive liquidity on the bid getting filled, for example, and then we're looking for a key at a key level, and then we're looking for the structure to break, and then we're looking for aggressive accumulation to charge up after liquidity levels. Okay, so for example, if this does break here on buying, we look for the next level of high liquidity. Okay, and that basically is really up here at 95. Okay, anyway, yeah, well, take it for what it is. Let's see. Why would you see dip buyers when dealing and when dealer is selling above? I'm just looking at a key level and reaction. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Walken. Right? I mean, this is, look at in terms of ATR. Look at the daily in here. Okay, how many candles are this big? You know, there's maybe a couple, maybe. So and our key swing is here. It's actually come down even, you know, very close to the next bar here, okay, which is at 52. Okay, so maybe we just get a reaction back up to 80 here. That's it, you know. And then maybe it chops around in there. Maybe it does come back down into 52 and then chops around in here for a while as well. But these are some of the scenarios we're looking for, and then we're going to look for the order flow to support the scenario. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for coming, everybody. We will catch up with you on Monday, and yeah, take it from there. Okay. Yep. If you want to subscribe to the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, and come over to our Discord channel. There's just a lot more going on over there. You're going to get a lot more from it than from YouTube. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for coming. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye.